Guys, let's address the first topic of the evening because this is something that actually popped up maybe a few days to a week ago. And this is it's impacting collectors because InArt is something that we really don't have a lot of information thus far in terms of how plentiful the stock is going to be for these items. And I'll zoom in just a little bit more here so you can kind of see what's going on. So Toysbuyingagent / Tim Cent put out a statement saying that they had some sort of issue with their supplier for InArt, and now they've been forced to cancel and refund all InArt pre-orders. That includes the Joker, Batman, and Gandalf. So everyone who pre-ordered, InArt Joker that should be releasing, I mean, they've been releasing lately anyway. I know Spec Fiction sent out some invoices. Kid has been sending more out. So they're starting to ship again. A second batch of Rooted and Sculpted have been shipping for a while now. But those people who bought from Tim Cent, unfortunately, to no fault of his own, kind of lost out here. So my question to you guys is, what do you think collectors should do? Because there has to be any number of collectors out there that still really want that Joker or that Gandalf or that Batman. What should they do? Where should they look? How should they proceed with this? Because these are unprecedented circumstances here. I don't recall this really happening. Besides every once in a while when Toys Wonderland, you'll pre-order something and they'll be like, we don't have it. So, that happens every once in a while. But with Tim Cent, the statement saying, and to their benefit, they were very great about it. They did the best they could with what the situation was. They pretty much said, we understand the frustration and inconvenience. We're giving people, some sort of coupons. We're giving people, a full refund. They're making it right as far as they can do it. So this is the best of a bad situation. It's just unfortunate it happened this way. But Kiko, I want to ask you, if collectors are sort of displaced collectors as far as InArt collecting is concerned, what should they do here?
It's scary because now there are vagabonds out there in a collecting desert and a collecting world, not knowing where to go. And this is a scary situation. But at the end of the day, I mean, they are just toys. I mean, there's a lot worse things that we could be scared about. But we're collectors, so let's talk about it because this sucks for sure. And you do run a risk, and I've told people this. You do run a risk because InArt does not have directly a distribution and a supplier officially, you're going to run into some issues until that gets situated. Someone asked me like, hey, did you pay, full price, or did you already pay in full for your Joker? And I was like, hell no, because I am not, for most people, for most things, unless I'm getting it from Sideshow or something's already been released and I know it's there, essentially, the inventory is there, I do not pay full price on anything because there's too much risk. Because what if said company, like mainly with a lot of the third parties out there, and I'm getting ready to circle back around to what they should do, but a lot of for the third parties out there, they'll be like, oh, check this out. Here is this knockoff version of the Joker and, Mars Toys, for example. We'll just say that, for example. That's not a licensed company by any means. So what if for some reason they put that product up, they take it up for pre-order. All these people are saying, oh, let's put this down. I'm going to pay in full. I can't wait to get this. But then legal action is taken. That company goes under, or for some reason you don't get your figure. I'm like, I'd much rather be out a deposit if something went wrong than, being out a full figure and still never getting it. That's just, it is for me, is that I am willing to put my deposits down. And I think that's fine. If you're willing to be out 10% or whatever it is, I still am very, very leery to full pay for anything when you're that far out for something. I remember when I put my InArt Joker in with Kit, it was in March of 2022. That is a full year that they would have had all my money. No, Kit's obviously doing his thing and, shipping those out to the people. We're not worried about that. But imagine putting your money up for something for a year or more, because some of these companies take even longer to put out some of the products. And by that time, because most likely you pay through PayPal and all that stuff, you can't dispute it at that point because it's been way past the time. So on a careful note, I'm just too afraid to go all in and pay for anything in full when it's not a licensed company, not a licensed distributor. With that being said, what do we do? What do collectors do next? I say, if you still want this figure, reach out to those suppliers that do have them and say, can I get on a wait list? I think that's the only thing you can do at this point, because I would not just go and be like, oh, I found, hey, has anybody heard of, redflag.com collectibles? I'm like, oh, Red Flag Collectibles? That doesn't really sound great. Well, yeah, they got the Joker for 80% off. I think I'm going to put my invoice there. don't do something like that. Go to something reputable. Make sure to go someplace where you know that they have stock and have had stock before. And if you're US based, I'm just going to say it, check with a US based distributor like Spec Fiction. I didn't get mine from Spec Fiction, so I don't have any kickback by any means, but I just feel safer, knowing that they're going to have you covered. And I've probably taken way too much time, and I apologize, Riley and Will, but I just wanted to say all that because I'm not paying in full for anything when there's too many risks out there. But if you really want this, find a reputable place, say, hey, what do I got to do to get on a wait list? And then just start throwing some options out there. It's kind of like fishing. Eventually you're going to catch something. And if you really, really want it, there are going to be people that get it, don't like it. They bought two because they thought, oh, this is going to be, they're going to be available. You may have to pay a little bit more, but I think that's the option. Wait till something is in hand. Don't do this pre-order route, but that is just me. I'll hang up and listen off air.
No, I'm with you, Kiko, actually, because I used to be one where I always liked paying in full. However, I changed that eventually because, I talked to Carlos and some other people about this, and I was thinking, you know what? It's not smart to do that because I know we got some comments about this. For one, Mr. Musashi said, what Toys Buying Agent did to resolve this issue was exactly what was needed to maintain confidence in them as a dealer. In other words, the exact opposite of what TW does. Yeah, unfortunately, that is the case, or what seems to be, right? So they made the best of a bad situation, honestly. And there was another comment too that I saw. That's what happened to me. CM Brock said, after I paid fully for a third-party figure, they got shut down. Now I'm out the figure and the money. Exactly. So that can happen sometimes, right? Maybe the shop goes out of business. You're past the 6-month window of your PayPal coverage. At that point, you're SOL, right? So that's why, to me, I really like the idea, put your deposit down. Then at that point, unless it's a US retailer like Spec Fiction, I'd probably be comfortable paying in full to Kit too, to be honest, because I really do like Kit. It's not my preference. I don't really want to do that, but if I had to do that, not the end of the world. Same with Spec Fiction, because you get it cheaper if you pay in full with them. So you can do that also. However, with Spec, or any of these other companies, you can also put your NRD down, put the remaining money into a separate account, an interest-bearing account, and then you have that money. So that figure is technically paid off, but you paid yourself. You only paid the minimal amount necessary to incur the least amount of risk as possible. So that's what I would say. Riley, I want to ask you the same question. What do you think people should do here? I mean, like Kiko said, maybe email Kit, email Todd. What do you think?
Right. I think, Kiko gave some really great points. Firstly, with Toys Buying Agent, that's unfortunate what happened. It really does suck. But like people have said, they're making the best situation out of it. It's good for those people who did have it. But like I said, what collectors should do next? I'd probably say, like Kiko said, go on a wait list, practice patience. I know it's hard. Honestly, I'm one to talk because I'm super impatient. I always like to get figures sooner, quicker than I know Kiko's the same way. But
that's my
like I said, exactly. I think that when it comes to the Joker figure, I think there will be another opportunity for you to grab it. Like Kiko said, maybe it'd be a little bit higher, but at this point, I feel like there's been so many times where the order's been reopened, and even that goes for Kit too. They're not in any different where they reopen the orders for InArt. It's available stock here. It's for a short amount in time. I just feel like it's not really with this InArt company. It feels like they're doing it for how many they order and then they're done forever. Like I think there's going to be another opportunity for collectors to grab this Joker. So for people who did go with Toys Buying Agent and this did happen, it's really unfortunate, but I believe you'll have another opportunity to grab it. There'll be some other time, or maybe when it fully releases, go on one of those buy sell trade groups and just do ISO. I'm willing to pay maybe even more than what the retail is, just because you're so desperate for it. Why not? If you love the Joker, you love Heath Ledger, then I'd say go that way. But overall, it does suck. And Kiko made a great point. Paying off figures for unlicensed things, stuff like this could happen. That's why it's a very risky thing to do. But I'm kind of on your side, Will, with Spec Fiction and even Kit. I'd trust him if I gave him my paid in full, because I think that he'd be able to hook it up. But at the end of the day, anything could happen. The company could go out of business. They can cancel the product. And then, like people said in the chat, like they're just out of money there. And it really does suck. But I'd say don't lose confidence. Don't lose hope on getting this InArt Joker. If you did go Toys Buying Agent route, I think there will be some opportunity to pick this up down the line. And even for other figures that were for pre-order, like Gandalf and Batman, even Toys Buying Agent said they can't supply that anymore. They're canceling those as well. So it's just a really unfortunate situation. And Carlos also said it might go up in value. Like, who knows? Because now that all of these people who did have their order in, they're going to be scrambling to find another Joker to find. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But I think there will be a chance to snag another Joker.
Yeah. I think so too. So guys, I'm going to put the links for 2 places that I personally recommend. Spec Fiction I'll put in there, and then I'll put Kit in there as well. So you guys can look that up and you can chat. You can send them an email. You can contact them through the website. And that's 2 places you can look for it. So if you really, really want this Joker, you'd also, hey, do your research. If you find it other places, by all means, do whatever you guys want to do. But you can reach out to them and like Kiko and Riley both said, go on a wait list or something, But check out Giant Toy. Check out some of the others. I don't know.
Right.
Who else? I've heard there were some issues with MaxNut. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what was going on with that? I know his time as a retailer is maybe a little more limited compared to these other guys, but it's something to look at, guys. But nonetheless, I hope these collectors get what they need. It's very unfortunate, but like I said, Toys Buying Agent made the best of a bad situation, unfortunately.
Right.